All right, so this is the video for the men's basketball in-season lifts, and this is block one. It's going to have 3 days of lifts on it. Day one's going to be a lower body, day two is going to be an upper body, and day three is going to be a full body. So when you think about in-season lifts compared to off-season or the summer block, it's just going to be a little bit different exercise selection and volume and intensity difference. So let's first get into day one lower body of in-season lifts, block one. All right, so first exercise in this superset of 3, we're on A1. It is weighted jumps. So we just want to do something explosive to start off the lift. I would hold 2 dumbbells, pretty lightweight, maybe 10s, 15s, 20s, depending on the athlete's body weight. You really wouldn't go over 30 or 35 pounds because you still want to be explosive with your jumps. Good way to progress this is week 1 would be 10 pounds, week 2, 15 pounds, week 3, 20 pounds. You just want to make sure that they're being explosive, being able to get off the ground. But you'll just hold 2 dumbbells. You're going down into a squat and then exploding up like a vertical jump, trying to get off the floor as high as you can possibly can. And then on the way down, you're landing into the squat, decelerating, slowing it down a little bit, and then immediately jumping out of it. You're not resetting every time. It's more of a land, stick the landing, make sure their feet are flat on the ground, heels are down, and then explode out of that squat. This is our explosive movement, so it does need to be explosive and fast. It's just a weighted jump, helps get their vertical jump up and get that elasticity going. Immediately following that, you're going to hit some behind the head med ball throw. So that's BHMB throw, behind the head med ball throw, facing a wall, or you just have a free open area. So squatting down, letting that med ball go between your legs, and then you're going for both height and it's going to go back a little bit, but more height. So just exploding up, putting your whole body into it, trying to get that med ball as high as you possibly can. Again, should be an explosive and fast movement. After that, you're going mobility complex, and so this is just some kind of built-in rest time so they can maintain that power for the other 2 movements, but it's also going to help you kind of get primed and ready for the bigger lifts. Also, it's a good way just to sprinkle in some mobility work when you have limited time during the in-season lifts. So first, you're going to do a deep squat hold. Just remember that when you're doing these, you only do 1 each set. So the first set you'll do deep squat hold, second set couch stretch, and then third set you'll hit hip 90-90. Last set you're hitting Bretzel. So they have to be quality, and you're only going to hit each one once. So deep squat hold for the first one, you're just going to sit into the bottom of a squat. Depending on their mobility, they can hold on to something. I normally have the athletes hold on to a rack and just kind of walk themselves down. But you want their feet to be flat, sitting all the way to the bottom of the squat, and then you can just rock back and forth, pushing your body weight forward, pushing your knees over your toes. Going to kind of open up their hips a little bit, get some ankle and calf mobility going. It's going to help them greatly when they get to squat the next superset. So next mobility that they would be doing on set 2 would be couch stretch. So foot on the bench, you can have a pad under that knee, and then keeping your torso pretty vertical, straight up. You can just be pushing your hips forward, and it's going to be really good for your hip flexors and your quads to loosen those up. Third mobility exercise that you would be doing on your third set is hip 90-90. So you'd be sitting on the ground 90-90. So both knees are at 90 degrees, hips at 90 degrees. And so this is going to be really good for deep hip muscles, stretching those out. So you can kind of sit in there, take your time with it, drop your chest down to your knee, sit into it, move left and right, and then you'd switch legs, do the same thing on the other leg. Last stretch here, very good stretch to finish us off here, is a Bretzel stretch. A little complicated, but once you get down, it is a very good stretch. So I'm going to be laying here flat on the ground. Let's start off with the right leg. So I'm going to go right knee at 90 degrees and throw that over my body. Left hand here is going to grab right under my right knee, and I'm going to be pulling with that hand. And then my left leg, I'm going to bring it up, and with my right hand, I'm going to grab the top of my foot. I'm going to be pulling right there too. So I'm pulling with both my hands. Ideally, I'm keeping my shoulders on the ground the whole time. Depending on your range of motion, your shoulders may come up. You can use a partner to help you out, push down your shoulders and help you get in that position. But this is a very good stretch. You just want to breathe while you do this. So like 5 big deep breaths while you're in it. Spend about a minute or two. Going into the second superset, we got a barbell box squat. So just like a barbell back squat, you have that bar on your upper back. You have a box or a bench behind you. Ideally, it's about the height that you can reach 90 degrees at your knee at. So you may have to play around with it for certain athletes that are shorter or taller. But you're just going down, tapping. It's not a full sit down on the bench. It's more of a tap and go. So slow and controlled on the way down, slight tap on the box, and then it's a fast, explosive at the hips, drive up. Don't want to be sitting all the way down on the box and lose tension. So control it, a tap, and then explode up. Shouldn't be crazy heavy because it is an in-season lift. It's more about being explosive and controlling that squat on the way down. All right, so pairing with barbell box squat, we're going to go band clamshell. So this is going to be great for basketball players, getting their hips stronger, specifically their glute medius. So what they're going to do is get one of these small bands, wrap it around both their legs, above the knee. You're going to go kind of into a side plank where you're on your forearm and your elbow. Both feet are staying on the ground. Your calves, shins are staying on the ground. You go up into that side plank position. And what you want to cue here and coach is pushing your hips forward. So you're squeezing your glutes, pushing your hips forward, and then bringing those hips up to the ceiling as high as you can go. Keep in that position the whole time. And then your legs are like a clamshell. You're just opening up that top knee, and you're going to feel the burn in that top hip. And now onto the last superset. You're going to start off with some dumbbell RDLs. So similar to barbell RDL, but with 2 dumbbells. Feet shoulder width apart. Knees slightly bent, shoulder blades back, big chest. Make sure that back's flat. You're bracing your core, and then you can just let those dumbbells hug your legs on the way down, controlling it the whole way, stretching the hamstrings, and then pulling it back up. Pretty simple. So you're going to pair that with a pistol squat. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. My best approach to it is having a band wrapped around the chin-up bar. You can also use a TRX strap, or they can hold on to the rack if they need to. But I like going with the band because it kind of pulls you out of the bottom. But the goal here is to single leg squat all the way to the bottom of the squat. Ideally, your feet are staying flat on the ground. A lot of times you'll see the heels come up, but you want to keep that foot flat. But it's a controlled drop down into a single leg squat, and then that band or TRX strap or whatever your assistance is going to help you come back up. If you have athletes that don't need assistance and that can just do a pistol squat by themselves, that's perfectly fine. That's impressive. So if they can do that, let them do that. But most I'll see use a band and just try to get that full range of motion. And then last exercise of this superset and to complete day 1 is going to be a Copenhagen plank. So one leg, the top leg, is going to be on the bench. And the other leg, the bottom leg, is going to be bent at a 90-degree angle. What you want to coach here is bringing those hips up as high as you possibly can and then squeezing your glutes, pushing your hips forward. So you want a straight line all the way from your ankle to your head. It's going to be great for their groins, keeping those strong, but it's also a great core exercise. Moving into day 2, upper body lift, you're going to start off with a landmine push press. So landmine, if you have an attachment, use that. What I've done in the past is cut a tennis ball in half and put that at the bottom of the barbell, and that keeps it kind of anchored to the ground, or you can just put the barbell in a corner. But barbell on the ground, and you're holding it on one side. So you're going to do one arm at a time. Your feet are going to be slightly back. So say I'm starting with my right hand, slight bend in the knee, and then you're exploding up. So it's full body, using your legs to drive up, and then explosive push with that arm to extend overhead. This is your explosive movement. So again, not crazy heavy. It just needs to be fast and explosive. So immediately following that, you're hitting the med ball SS slam. So med ball split squat slam. So you're going to be in a split squat. You want that front knee to be at 90 degrees, and you're going to go over your front leg. So my right leg's forward. I'm picking it up on my left side and slamming it on my right side. And then I'd switch legs and do the same thing on the other side. Again, it's got to be explosive. Slam as hard as you can. Got to brace the core. Stay in that split squat hard as you possibly can. First mobility exercise is going to be band pulses, so wrapping a little band around both wrists, starting off with straight arms at the bottom towards your hips, and then you're just pulsing left and right all the way overhead and then coming back down. Second one will be band pull apart, so just getting a little bit bigger band. You can grab both sides of the band, you can grab one at a time, but right in front of your chest, straight arms, and then you're just pulling apart, letting that band go all the way to your chest, squeezing your shoulder blades together, and then bringing it back. Third, you're going to do shoulder IYTs, so you're just grabbing two plates, or you can use dumbbells, and you're just making the letters I, Y, and T with your arms. So I would be straight out in front of your body, Y would be kind of a diagonal angle going out, and then T would be to the sides of your body. Last one you're going to do is a scapular push-up. So you're in this push-up position, but you're adding in kind of a scapular rotation, so your shoulder blades are pushing open at the top, then you're bringing them back down into straight back, going into the push-up, coming back up to the top, rounding your back, really feeling your shoulder blades round over, and then pulling them back into position, going back into a push-up. All right, so for the B superset, you're going to do barbell bench press. I would assume at this point you know how to barbell bench press if you're doing in-season lifts, so I won't cover a ton on it, but just remember you're setting up, laying on the bench, eyes are underneath the bar. Don't be too deep, too far into the rack. Feet are flat on the ground to use that leg drive. Make sure your hands or thumbs on the knurling so your grip is right, touching the bottom of your chest, and then pushing back towards your face. All right, single arm dumbbell row, you'll be in a split squat stance. So if you're working your right arm, your right leg is going to be back. Your left leg will be up. Slight bend in the knee, one arm at a time. Try to keep that back flat, tight, braced core, and then you're just driving that elbow up as high as you can go. All right, again, you're probably familiar with chin-ups by now, but just remember chin-ups is palm facing towards you, and your arms got to be straight at the bottom, dead hang at the bottom, and then pulling yourself all the way up, chin above bar, and then all the way back down to a dead hang. Keep that core tight. If you need to load it up, load it up. If it's too hard, throw a band around your foot, and that'll help you out. Paired with that, you're going half kneeling dumbbell overhead press. So one leg would be down on the ground. Whatever leg is down on the ground, that's the same side you're working. So if I'm working my right arm, my right leg's down, my left leg's up. Staying tight on my core, try not to arch my back or bend my low back too much. And then I'm just driving overhead like an overhead press. And then last exercise to finish it out, you're going to do a dragonfly sit-up. So laying flat on the ground, back on the ground, anchor onto something that you're holding on with your hands, straight arms, and then you're on straight legs, lock out at the knee, all the way down. Don't want the heels to touch the ground, and then you're pulling with your core, your feet all the way until it's above your stomach. Going into day 3, we're going to start off with a barbell hang pull. Ton of videos online to see how to do this, but just real quick, you're hinging just like an RDL, exploding up. So going up on your toes, throwing your hips forward, and then shrugging at the same time. I'm not really pulling that bar too high. It's stopping right about my waist or my belly button. But this is your explosive movement. So hinge at the hips, stretch out the hamstrings, and then explode on the way up. All right, so you're going to pair this with a depth drop to vertical. So you're standing on top of a box, dropping down into a depth drop. So landing flat feet. You want to stick that landing. Avoid landing on the toes. Try to get the heels down, flat foot. And then as soon as you land, you're popping out of that into a vertical, jumping as high as you possibly can. Going into mobility, we're going to start off band ankle circle. Great for the ankle strength. Wrapping a band around your ankle. So notice how my other foot is underneath my calf so it can get it off the ground. And then I'm pulling, getting tension in on the band, making as big as circles as I can with my big toe. I'm going to go clockwise, and then I'm going to go counterclockwise. Biggest circles I can, keep tension on the band. Band hamstring, pretty simple. Band around the top of your foot, laying back on the floor, keeping that leg straight, pulling your toe to your knee, and then just a strong hamstring stretch. Third is bench ankle mobility, so foot flat on the bench, and then you can just use your body weight to push forward, sit on that front leg, and what you're doing is just driving that knee over your toe, trying to keep your heel down. This is going to do wonders to open up your ankle, stretch out your calf, and this would be great for squat, really any knee bend movement. Going into the second superset, we're going to do a barbell rear foot elevated split squat. So that's BBRFESS. So barbell's on your back, just like a back squat, and then you're doing your rear foot is elevated on a bench or a box, and you're hitting a split squat. So remember, this is in season. You're not going to load it up very much. This is more about creating that stability and balance in the front leg and getting full range of motion. So letting that back knee go all the way to the ground and then exploding up through the front leg. So you're going to pair this with a hamstring curl. Couple different ways you can go about doing this. Here I'm demonstrating doing it on a yoga ball. So that works. Heels on the yoga ball and you're laying on the ground, pulling your heels to your butt. You can also use a foam roller. If you have a hamstring curl machine, you can use that. Or here's another way you can do it. Lay down on the bench, anchor a band, and then band around your ankles. You kind of get the movement. You're just trying to replicate it. I like to go with the yoga ball or a foam roller. Going into the last superset, we're going to start off with a barbell bent over row. Pretty simple. Barbell going into almost like in bottom of an RDL. Bar staying close to you. You're pulling to your belly button, keeping that back flat. Try to avoid getting your chest up too high. Trying to get that back as horizontal as possible. And then you're just driving with your elbows up. After that, you'll hit a dumbbell incline bench. So slight incline in the bench, 2 dumbbells, feet flat on the ground. Make sure you're getting a good stretch at the bottom. Bring those dumbbells all the way up and then exploding up, straight arm at the top. And then last exercise is a runner pulls hold. So 1 dumbbell is going to be on whatever leg is straight. So if my left leg is straight, touching the ground, the dumbbell is going to be on my left hand. My right leg is going to be up. So get that knee as high as you can on the leg that's up. Pull your toe up to your knee like a runner's pose. You want to go pretty heavy on this. There's going to be a few limiting factors. Either your grip strength will go out, your core will go out, or your balance. Most of the time it's your balance. So you're working on a whole bunch of different stuff at once, your core, your grip, and your balance. But you can normally load this up, and one of them will give out first. But that is the last exercise there. That is going to conclude day 3 and conclude the in-season block 1 for men's basketball training. If you have any questions at all, please let me know.